Hey folks, Mark Levin here. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to talk about my go-to gold and silver company. Monetary Gold has over 25 years helping Americans understand physical gold and silver with an education-first, no-pressure approach and support for IRA-eligible options. Monetary Gold has a complimentary guide. It's free to help you understand precious metals. Call them right now, 877-NOW-GOLD, or visit marklovesgold.com and request the free guide. Make sure to ask for details. That's 877-NOW-GOLD, or visit marklovesgold.com. Performance may vary. You should always consult your financial and tax consultant. Now let's get to the show.
He's here. He's here. Now, broadcasting from the underground command post, deep in the bowels of a hidden bunker, somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader, Mark Levin.
Mark Levin here. Our number, 877-381-3811, 877-381-3811. Welcome on this Friday. I have some breaking news. It'll be very, very important to you, and I'll tell you where you can get it yourselves. And it won't be on TV. It won't be on most radio programs. It won't even be on most podcast programs, but it's very, very important. I want to tip my hat to Michael A. Rothman. I have no idea who this gentleman is, but he is good. And the site Honest Reporting. Honest Reporting AI. Joe Kent has been making the rounds on these interview shows. Carlson, Kelly, Carlson's sidekick. He's going to be with Candace Owens and so forth. And ladies and gentlemen, we invited him on this program for an interview. He said he would do it. It's all online. It's public. We followed up. Open your mic again, Mr. Producer. You contacted him twice. Is that not correct?
Once was through a DM and the second was publicly.
Publicly and through a DM. So he received them. He says today that we have his number because I interviewed him when he ran for a candidate. He ran as a candidate a long time ago, and we do not have his number. He's checked. Mr. Producer has 3 times. Yesterday, this morning, and again. We don't have his number. So why is this an issue? He has not responded to Mr. Producer, Rich Cementa. He does not want to come on the program. He's being advised not to come on the program by Megyn Kelly. I have a new name for Megyn Kelly. A new name for Megyn Kelly. It was a book. It was a movie. It relates to Whitewater. I won't say it yet. I'm guessing it's just a matter of time. But let's move on. He's making the rounds through the podcasters. The woke right, neo-fascist, anti-Trump, anti-MAGA, anti-United States military podcasters. Now, I want to prove this to you, what's going on here. This is a fifth column in the United States of America. That is a movement that camouflages its real intentions, operates within the population, but has as its purpose to replace our system with another system. We see this with the Marxist Islamists, and now we see it with the neo-fascists. Now, I'm going to read this to you. I posted it. I'm not the only one to post it, and it is very, very important. And he writes, Joe Kent goes on Tucker Carlson. Within minutes, not hours, minutes. The same clip, same caption, same outrage floods hundreds of accounts simultaneously. Honest Reporting AI Labs tracked every amplification event in real time, and the data is damning. Now, what you're going to hear is a network, a massive propaganda network, a massive operation. And you're going to see who's involved in it. Tucker Carlson, these other podcasters. The trigger quote, the Israelis drove the decision, out of Kent's mouth, was clipped, posted across hundreds of accounts almost simultaneously. Not after it trended, during the broadcast. Simultaneously, almost. Real breaking news takes time to spread organically. This had a running start. In other words, it's part of a very cutting-edge technological propaganda operation online, where most of you are not day in and day out, but these other people are. Now, when they write, the Israelis drove the decision, that clip posted across hundreds of accounts, almost simultaneously. Who amplified it? Now, look at this coalition. Russia State TV, Iranian State TV, Hamas-aligned Quds News Network, Turkish State TV, Sputnik Brazil, all Islamist, communist coalition. And simultaneously, Jackson Hinkle, Candace Owens, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Max Blumenthal, in Russia, Iran, Hamas, MAGA dissidents, all posting the same message at the same time. The same message at the same time. When does that happen naturally, he writes? Never. The charts tell the story precisely. This is AI. They were tracking it. Within 2 to 4 hours of the Tucker broadcast, track amplification events spiked to 30, dominated by MAGA dissident amplifiers and pro-Palestinian Islamist networks firing off in parallel. Boom, 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 boom. They have a second chart that shows how far the narrative traveled from what Kent actually said. By the time the amplification cycle was complete, the message had escalated. The message had escalated from Kent's original claim all the way to Israel controls America. An approximately 85 to 90% departure from the source material. That's not an interpretation. That is narrative laundering. It is full-blown Islamist, Nazi, fascist propaganda. With these top podcasters, Russian state media, Iranian state media, Hamas state media, Turkish state media, and Sputnik Brazil state media. The rollout wasn't spontaneous. Kent resigned Tucker booked him within hours. Real whistleblowers are chaotic. They call journalists from parking lots. They don't have a media tour lined up before the ink even dries on the resignation letter. Now, do they? And here's what's got buried, they write. Here's what got buried in all of it. From 2020 to 2024, Joe Kent publicly and repeatedly called for destroying Iran's nuclear and ballistic capabilities. That record was almost completely absent from the amplified conversation. Narrative laundering is what it's called. Narrative laundering doesn't only determine what to amplify, it determines what to erase. The FBI was already investigating Joe Kent. He resigned to control the narrative. The speed, the uniformity, the foreign state amplification, that's not organic. There was a coordinated information operation, and the people pushing it included both foreign adversaries and Americans who should know better. Carlson, Kelly, and others. It's amazing. Russia, Iran, Hamas, American dissidents, all pushing the same message at the same time is not a coincidence. It's an operation. I've posted this on my social sites. I didn't write it. I didn't even know what was going on. Something was going on. Something was going on. If you look on the internet, if you look on Twitter, X, whenever I post something, the same people come in with the foul mouths, with the language. They repeat what the podcasters say. They repeat what the Russians say. They repeat what the Mandamis say. It's a massive operation. A massive operation. And you actually have Americans working with, mostly knowingly, some who may not know exactly what's going on, but they know who's promoting it. And then the ones who tell you, look at how many followers I have. Look at all the eyes I have. Candace Owen, Megyn Kelly, always brag about, look at all these followers I have. Now, these are people who couldn't make it in TV. They couldn't make it on radio. They couldn't make it on cable. But all of a sudden, they're fantastic. Everybody can't wait to see them and hear what they have to say. They can't wait. Why would Russian TV, Iranian TV, Hamas TV, Turkish TV, and so forth be promoting this? And then their most loyalist followers in those countries tune into these podcasters. See how it works? And then they say, look at our numbers. They're unbelievable. He's got 20 million followers, 10 million followers. But they're not MAGA. They're not Americans. And so what happens? They have figured out how to make their money. This crap about how bad America is, how good Hitler is, how bad Churchill was, the Jews are this, the Christians are that, and isn't Sharia law great? And isn't Qatar great? And don't go to war with Iran, even though they're getting nukes to aim at us. And so there's a reason they message this way. They're doing the work of the enemy. Joe Kent is the latest useful idiot. That's what he is. Of course he won't come on this program. It's not a matter of we know how to reach him. I'm telling you we don't. We contacted him directly. Mr. Producer did, on the internet, privately and publicly. And he knows it because he was on this podcast show today. Kelly. Boy, is that woman obsessed with me. I don't know what's going on with her and her hubby, but she is obsessed. And by the way, so is Tucker. I don't go that way, Tucker. I didn't listen to either of these. You know, people send me some of the transcripts. It's just not my thing. Buddy of mine says, he must have mentioned you 50 times. I don't know. It doesn't matter. You know, for a guy they claim is old with no audience, they sure are obsessed with me, aren't they, Mr. Producer? Crazy. But I want you to know who they're in bed with. I want you to know who they're in bed with. Russia, Iran, Hamas, Turkey under Erdogan. Simultaneously pushing this stuff out. Candace Owens, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Max Bloomfield, there's the real putz. Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, he's really the kingpin. These aren't mistakes. These are highly sophisticated networks, well-funded propaganda operations. And they're trying to destroy the Trump presidency while they're pretending to be part of it. They keep saying MAGA's divided when MAGA's not divided. The major media continues to give these people voice, regurgitates what they say. The Drudge Report, Mediaite, they're not alone. Reuters, AP, New York Times, Washington Post, Politico, they think this is great. It's not great. They're giving aid and comfort to the enemy. They are the enemy. They are the enemy. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
Folks, many central banks around the world, the same institutions that print all that money, they're buying gold at record levels, and they're not speculating. It seems like they're diversifying away from the U.S. dollar. Many global central bank gold holdings have now surpassed the holdings of U.S. Treasuries. The problem is the endless spending, the endless borrowing, driving up interest rates and driving down the value of the dollar. This is where my trusted friends at Monetary Gold come in. With over 100 years of combined trading floor experience, these are people who have lived through every market cycle. And right now, for qualifying accounts, Monetary Gold may cover your IRA fees for the life of your account. So call Monetary Gold today, 877-NOW-GOLD. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Or visit marklovesgold.com, marklovesgold.com. It's a company built on trust and built to last. Call 877-NOW-GOLD or go to marklovesgold.com. Results can vary. Always consult your financial and tax advisors before investing. Folks, you got a guy here. I don't give a damn. His military record does not give him immunity. Doesn't expunge his future activity. Who's accused of leaking, according to published reports with various sources. It said he's under an investigation by the FBI. Now, an investigation is not guilt, but it's a very serious matter. And they blow it off. Oh, the FBI, they haven't gotten Comey, they haven't gotten this, they haven't gotten that. That's all smoke. We can criticize the FBI all we want, but that doesn't give a pass to this guy. Did he leak? To whom did he leak? And what did he leak? Simple. I'd love to have him on the program. I've got a whole host of questions for him. I've got his press releases, his public statements. I've got his associations with Nick Fuentes. I've got a whole lot. I'd like to talk to him. Megyn Kelly, deep fill in the blank. She's full-throated, telling him don't do it. I mean, this isn't a conspiracy. This is a reality. So he goes along, he gives these interviews. It's obvious Carlson knew he was going to resign. Don't you think, Mr. Producer? They were all set for him. It wasn't actually a real interview. It was a play. They knew what they were going to do. The sentence they want out gets out. Russian TV grabs it. Iranian TV grabs it. Hamas grabs it. Turkey grabs it. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Candace Owens, Max Blumenthal, they all grab it almost simultaneously, and they push it out. I believe disciplined investors don't panic during price dips. They capitalize on them. If the gold and silver surged into the $5,400 to $5,500 range, we saw a sharp correction recently as some folks took profits. But many financial minds didn't run. They accumulated. Because in a long-term bull market, dips can be opportunities, not warnings, because you look at the trajectory. The fundamentals driving gold's rise haven't changed. And silver, well, silver dropped more than 11% recently, and many analysts call it exactly what it was. A consolidation, not a collapse, and it's back moving up again. And right now, for qualifying accounts, Monetary Gold may even cover your IRA fees for the rest of your life on your account. That's a real value if you're moving retirement funds into precious metals. So call Monetary Gold today, 877-NOW-GOLD. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Or visit marklovesgold.com, marklovesgold.com. Results can vary. Always consult your financial and tax advisors before investing.
Mark Levin, tough as hell.
That's why I like Mark Levin. And I'm not sure a lot of people like him. He's tough as hell. But I like him. I love him.
Call in now, 877-381-3811.
Love you too, Mr. President. Greatest president. Let me tell you something. You're going to wish he was still president when he's gone. The things he has done are just unbelievable. Don't forget Life, Liberty, and Levin tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern. 2 great shows this weekend. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern. All on Fox, of course. You can set your DVR. Set your DVR. I've just revealed to you in Talk Radio Land what Michael A. Rothman revealed about honest reporting AI. This is not some right-wing thing and so forth and so on, but even if it was, it doesn't matter. They've got the goods. They've got the goods. Joe Kent's resignation was all planned. He won't come on this program because I'm not going to give him a Megyn Kelly, how can I put this, kiss-ass interview. Or a Tucker Carlson kiss-ass interview. Or a Candace Owens kiss-ass interview. You know the crowd. It's the same crowd. A bunch of jerks in a circle. Can I put it that way, Mr. Producer? That's a nice way to do it. And I have nothing but contempt for these people and for Joe Kent, who's done this to the president, to the country. It's an outrage how his words are being used by the enemy. And then even this process, they change the words. You know, there's this guy, Thomas Woods, out there. He's an anarchist. The big Ron Paul guy. He used to trash Reagan. He used to trash Milton Friedman. You know, they're not good enough for this guy who's a loser. And he posts this morning, Levin's a liar. Look at this. Where I publicly posted for Joe Kent, come on the radio show. I'd like to interview you for an hour. And Kent says, sure, got it. And we've been following up. We can't get a hold of the guy. And yet he sees what we're sending him. And today he confesses that he saw it, but says, but they know how to get a hold of me. We don't know how to get a hold of you. Apparently, some people do. How's that? I have some basic little questions to ask the man. Have you leaked? Why were you cut out of classified briefings? Why did Nick Fuentes say that you guys had a back channel? But you don't have to reveal it if it causes you problems to get elected. I got a zillion questions for this guy. And you can see he's going through now a podcaster tour, but only a handful of selected podcasters. And he'll wind up at CNN and MSNBC, or MS Now, whatever it's called, and they will slobber all over him. The Russians like him now. The Iranians like him now. Hamas likes him now. Aragon's Turkey likes him now. Why is it that today on TV, yet again, the Iranian state-run TV that just hanged these 3 young men and this wrestler publicly, hang them, 19 years old. Why are they running Tucker Carlson clips on state-run TV? Because he's trashing the president. He's trashing MAGA. He's trashing the United States of America. He's trashing the American military. They're trying to dispirit the citizenry and strengthen the Iranian Guard. Why did they run Tucker Carlson on Russian TV under Putin? Why do they do that? The Hamas-aligned Quds network. Ladies and gentlemen, in the middle of a war where we have brave men and women fighting, is this okay with you? So who covers for this guy? The anarchists? Like Thomas Woods, who's a vile excuse for a human being? This cabal of America-hating podcasters who claim to be America first. By the way, this is quite typical of the propagandists. They claim to be what they're not, and then they accuse you of being what they actually are. And they repeat it and repeat it, and they repeat it over again. We're very disappointed in the president. He's abandoned MAGA. He's lied about what he was running on and so forth. These are pipsqueaks. Pipsqueaks. They're nobodies. Haven't you wondered, how did they get so big? How do they have these audiences? Is it because they're smart? No. A lot of their audience is overseas, and a lot of their audience are Democrats and Marxists and Nazis and Klansmen and fascists and just people who hate the president, MAGA, and hate you and hate the country in many cases. Russian TV, Iranian TV, Hamas-aligned Quds network, Turkish TV will never run my show. They'll never run my show. Where I condemn them, where I condemn the terrorists, where I condemn their ideology, where I stand up for America and our president. It's the most patriotic program around. There's a handful of us left. Of course they won't. But it's worse than that. What's revealed here, and again, you can go to X and on the site, The Mark Levin Show, you can pick it up yourself and read it yourself. They demonstrate the massive cutting-edge nature of this propaganda, how it's pushed out to Candace Owens and Marjorie Trader Gown Green and this guy Max Blumenthal, how it's pushed out to Russia and Iran and the Hamas and MAGA dissidents. Why they say the same thing? Now, you'll notice, because you're sharp, you're smart, it's sort of the same thing on the left. They all carry the same billboard signs around. Yeah, and they wear billboards, too. With the same words, often the same exact signs. They could be in L.A., they could be in New York, they could be in Detroit, wherever they are. It's the same thing. So we're dealing with the America-hating extremist left and the America-hating extremist fascist right. And we as constitutional conservatives, we must defend this country. We must defend our president, our military, our Declaration and Constitution. Have you noticed also these so-called podcasters? They never talk up America, ever, unless they think they can somehow use it to camouflage what they're pushing. Do you think Russia State TV would be pushing podcasters or guests like Joe Kent if they didn't think it would hurt America? And you're America, Mr. and Mrs. America. I think the Third Reich would be running Tucker Carlson clips, Megyn Kelly clips, Candace Owen clips, Steve Bannon clips. You better believe they would. I think Imperial Japan would have been running their clips. And interpreting in Japanese. They'd be in Japanese, they'd be in German, they'd be in Italian for Mussolini. These people are undermining our country. Now, they're good at personal attacks. They're good at cursing. They're good at looking Western. They're good at enriching themselves, constantly grifting. They want you to be impressed by them because how many followers they have. But ask them, where are the followers from? Where's the audience from? Where's it from? Which countries? Which countries are they from? Not ours. If you go online, it's toxic. It's really a cesspool. And you will find, if you stand up for the president, you stand up for our military, you condemn Iran, you condemn the hangings of these 3 young men, that's just sickening. You will be attacked. There'll be a flood, like fleas on a dead carcass. They'll be flooding in, saying the most heinous things. The most heinous things. And when you fight back, it's not just me, I'm watching other people. Then they accuse you of what they're doing. Of what they're doing. HonestReporting.ai, I want to thank you. You tracked the Joe Kent narrative in real time. You tracked what you found. The numbers don't lie. It's real. It's real computerized data. And they've been exposed. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
Folks, many central banks around the world, the same institutions that print all that money, they're buying gold at record levels, and they're not speculating. It seems like they're diversifying away from the U.S. dollar. Many global central bank gold holdings have now surpassed the holdings of U.S. Treasuries. The problem is the endless spending, the endless borrowing, driving up interest rates and driving down the value of the dollar. This is where my trusted friends at Monetary Gold come in. With over 100 years of combined trading floor experience, these are people who have lived through every market cycle. And right now, for qualifying accounts, Monetary Gold may cover your IRA fees for the life of your account. So call Monetary Gold today, 877-NOW-GOLD. That's 877-NOW-GOLD. Or visit marklovesgold.com, marklovesgold.com. It's a company built on trust and built to last. Call 877-NOW-GOLD or go to marklovesgold.com. Results can vary. Always consult your financial and tax advisors before investing. I think radio is the most patriotic format in America. That's why conservative talk radio succeeded where nothing did. The great Rush Limbaugh, Bob Grant, I could name a zillion people. And there's a lot of great conservative broadcasters today, local and national. And I want to encourage all of you who are listening to me tonight. I don't own this information. It was presented to me. It was presented to my wife. She gave it to me right before the program. I didn't create this information, but it is bulletproof. And we need to use this format. I urge you, all of you, all broadcaster brothers and sisters in this format, I urge you, on satellite, I urge you to share this information with your listeners. We are the only beacon of liberty left, not TV. Most of the podcasters are rotten as they come, some great, don't get me wrong, but not enough. The left-wing media is a disaster. This is a big deal. We've got to use our voices, our platforms, our microphones. God bless our affiliates. God bless you, to make it clear what's taking place. This isn't some political group putting this out. This isn't some website putting this out. This is a real thing that was tracked through AI. There is an elaborate partnership, or at least a collusion, between certain podcasters in this country and enemy and adversary states. And these podcasters are never talking up America. They're always talking it down. They're always talking down America. That's you, Mr. and Mrs. America. Those are our brothers and sisters fighting this war. Those are our parents and grandparents who fought World War II. There's obviously an enormous amount of money being invested into this by foreign governments. That's my guess. It's sophisticated. It's technologically cutting edge. They go from an interview, take a phrase, push it out all over the world, all over to our media. Joe Kent, knowingly, is a useful idiot. I don't want to hear about his military experience. We're not discussing that. It's great military experience, fantastic, 5 stars. I'm moving on. You don't leak against the president. That's the allegation. You're cut out of classified discussions, and you're the number 2 intel guy in the White House. This could be the biggest security scandal since Aldra Hiss. I don't know that it is. I don't know. But it could be. And that means Donald Trump has been victimized. That means the Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of War, the Secretary of State, the CIA director, who specifically testified under oath that what this man Kent said was wrong. And yet he's embraced and is being pushed out. I don't believe for 2 seconds that Kent and Carlson weren't in communication. And I want to discuss this with Kent, but he won't show up. He won't do it. That's the bottom line. You have to answer to the FBI, I guess. And Tucker Carlson puts out this weird video about his texts, trying to get in front of some scandal. Why would he put out the video? They looked at my text. I have communications, but I'm a journalist. You can't get me. I'm a journalist. Communications with whom? Iran, I guess. Well, what were those communications? Iran's not just another country. It's not Australia. It's not New Zealand. You know, it's an enemy. What if a podcaster had communications with the Third Reich during World War II? Would that be okay? I'm not saying he did. I'm saying he's the one that put out the video. Now, folks, you've known me for over 20 years, those of you who've been here that long. Some of you 10 years, 3 years, whatever it is. I've never lied to you. I've spent all my years conveying to you our love of America, our patriotism, talking history and philosophy and our founding. We've worked together to try and get the right people elected to office. I've written 10 books that many of you have read, at least in part. You know where I stand. And you know I'm earnest about what I convey to you. That I trust you and I'm honest with you. These people are very, very evil. Very evil. This segment of the podcast is exclusively sponsored by Pure Talk. Pure Talk offers great coverage and can save your family money on your wireless bill every single month. Go to puretalk.com to find the plan that's right for you. Thank you again for listening, and thank you so much for this sponsorship, Pure Talk.
He's here. He's here. Now, broadcasting from the underground command post, deep in the bowels of a hidden bunker, somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader, Mark Levin.
Hello, America, on this wonderful Friday evening. I'm Mark Levin. Our number 877-381-3811, 877-381-3811. So the president made a Pearl Harbor joke. The media's all upset. He got a question, I believe, from a reporter out of Japan. And the question was, let's play that. Go ahead.
Why didn't you tell U.S. allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about we Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing, you don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay? Right? You know, he's asking me, no, you believe in surprise, I think much more so than us. And we had to surprise him, and we did. And because of that surprise, we knocked out, the first 2 days, we probably knocked out 50.
That's good. So the media feign all this anger. My God, what did he say there? That's so offensive. Ladies and gentlemen, how is that offensive? If the Prime Minister of Japan made a Pearl Harbor joke, we're the ones who lost almost 2,000 people at Pearl Harbor. We were attacked. If they made a joke, now that would be offensive. We were the victim. And so the president makes a joke. Why is that offensive, Rich? I thought it was funny, too. There's no reason to rub our hands together. Oh, that was terrible, terrible. No, it wasn't. Japan attacked us. And he says, you're asking us about secrets? Why didn't you tell us about Pearl Harbor? Oh, my God, what did he say? That's rude. No, it's not. Again, if the Prime Minister of Japan had made a Pearl Harbor joke, that would be offensive. We're the ones who were hit. We're the ones who lost fellow citizens, family members. So I don't get this. Well, I do get it, because no matter what he does, they attack. It's disgusting. There was nothing wrong with that. Nothing. Nothing. We were the victims of that attack. The victims. Now, there's a piece in the Free Press. Influencer group that boosts Democrat faces House investigation over dark money ties by Gabe Kaminsky, who's a great reporter, by the way. A nonprofit group that works with popular Democratic political influencers is under investigation by the House Oversight Committee for a disturbing pattern of activity, possibly intended to evade campaign finance disclosure rules. In a letter Friday to Creator Collective, Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer. Now, this is going to create a bit of a row here, Mr. Producer, but do we get much done in the Oversight Committee with the chairman? Do we, Mr. Producer? And they subpoenaed the Attorney General to testify on the Epstein case? They subpoenaed the Attorney General of the United States? This whole Epstein thing has been a psyops, too. By the Russians, by the left, by the Democrats, by the same podcasters. There's nothing in there that is damaging to Donald Trump. They try to make it damaging. Oh, look at this picture. Look at this picture. They try desperately. They keep stoking it. And they do it a lot because the Russians want them to do it. The Iranians want them to do it. The left and the Democrats want them to do it. And, of course, suckers who pretend that they're MAGA want them to do it, but they're not MAGA. I just think it was outrageous that they subpoenaed her. He demanded information about a program called Chorus. Wired reported last August that it offered influencers as much as $8,000 a month to bolster Democratic talking points on social media. Now, I'm going to ask you, Mr. Comer, will you investigate what I've been discussing the past hour, Honest Reporting AI, that tracked the Joe Kent narrative in real time and found a very interesting coalition of individuals pushing it out and using it for propaganda. That's what needs to be investigated. This as well. Don't get me wrong. This as well. The outlet also reported that Creator Collective founder Graham Wilson, to whom Comer's letter was addressed, told influencers in a Zoom call that their names would not show up on reports filed with the FEC. The letter, reviewed by the Free Press, said the committee is examining possible efforts to obscure the distinction between activities of legitimate journalism for campaign operatives. The FEC requires groups such as Creator Collective that are organized as a 501c4 to disclose any spending in support or opposition of candidates. The types of nonprofits may engage in unlimited political lobbying in some campaign activity, but they still have to report. According to its website, Course is, quote, an incubator and mentorship program for pro-democracy content creators. It's led by Brian Tyler Cohen, a progressive podcast host. What's with these podcasters, Mr. Producer? Who has over 5 million subscribers on YouTube. The website he's bigger than Deep Throat. The website lists a creator council that includes roughly a dozen influencers, along with links to their accounts on TikTok, Instagram, X, and YouTube. Comer said that the House committee had obtained 50 quarterly reports from influencers who signed contracts with Chorus. Per the committee, influencers claimed in the reports that they did not create any content on behalf of Chorus or use any Chorus resources that expressly advocated the election or defeat or solicited funds for a clearly identified candidate. But the Comer letter cited 3 examples of social media. All right, the back and forth, but the point is, this looks like a front group that may well have been violating Internal Revenue requirements. All this dark money in the shadows, all these billionaires in the shadows. In an Instagram video post last November, Course influencer Barrett Adair told viewers to vote for Abigail Spanberger. We know who she is. She's a lying piece of nonsense who got into the governorship in Richmond, Virginia as a moderate, and she has governed like Mondami. A spokesperson for Chorus called the allegation false and said they distort our mission and how our organization operates. Now, the investigation is the latest sign of controversy over the influence of dark money, and it goes on. Kaminsky's a very good reporter. I read his stuff in the Free Press as well as others. It's a very good website, too, I might add. Oh, and Barry Weiss, of course, they have to destroy her. Because, number one, she's Jewish. And number two, she's not a radical left-wing kook. So we can't have that. And it goes on, and it's a very important piece. Now, just so you know, on our mothership, the website, marklevinshow.com, all these articles I discuss and links and so forth, they're all provided there about an hour or two after the end of the program for all of you to look at yourselves. And also, I want you to know, again, that piece I did in the first hour, it's available on all my social sites. I encourage you to take a look at it, maybe even comment on it on the social sites. It's a big, big deal. Big, big deal. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
It's time for a little spring cleaning, and I know where to start. Go drag your old, dated wireless contract out of the closet and beat it with a broom. Then freshen things up by switching to Pure Talk, my wireless company that gives you unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data, just $25 a month, with no contract, no cancellation fees, and no overseas customer service if you ever need help. I'm guessing you're going to like them as much as my listener Paul from Greer, South Carolina. He says, I finally listened to Mark Levin's advice and switched from Verizon. I'm getting the very same service for less than half of what I was paying Verizon. You know, I long wondered if these much lower services could provide the same level of service as the big boys. Now I know that Pure Talk certainly can. Thank you, Paul. Now it's time for you folks to make the switch, too. Go to puretalk.com/Levin, puretalk.com/Levin, and you'll save 50% off your first month. That's puretalk.com/Levin, and switch to a wireless company that shares your values. Pure Talk, America's wireless company. The Democrats are still blocking the funding for our friends at the TSA, our friends at the Coast Guard, our friends at the Secret Service, our friends at FEMA. What a damn disgrace. What a damn disgrace. Seriously. And they can yammer all they want and spin and twist all they want. Everybody knows it's the Democrats who've defunded these people. They can't pay their mortgage payments. They can't pay their medical bills. And these are people who have jobs that are intended to protect you and me. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, this Democrat Party's no damn good. And they're out there spinning like a top. Because they want power. They want ICE destroyed. They want all the illegal aliens to remain. If they win the presidency, the House, and the Senate, mark my words right now, right this minute, they're going to give them all amnesty. That's what they're going to do. 20 million illegal aliens. They're going to give them amnesty. That's what they're going to do. And we won't be able to stop them. That's the play going on here. And so for them, so what? How many people? TSA, Secret Service, FEMA, Coast Guard. They fought harder to give Medicaid to illegal aliens. They fought harder to give food stamps to illegal aliens than the members of our TSA. Many of whom are minorities, by the way. It is disgusting, absolutely disgusting. The Republicans have tried now 5 times to get these agencies funded. 5 times. The Senate on Friday again failed to move forward with legislation to fund the Department of Homeland Security, extending the shutdown of this snarled air traffic around the country. 47-37, the legislation failed to reach 60-vote threshold. They got 47, but they couldn't get to 60, of course, because there's only 53 Republicans. 16 senators didn't vote. They didn't want to be on the record as voting against. All you people who take air flight, all the people at the TSA, they didn't want to be on the record voting against funding the Coast Guard in case we have a terrorist attack. So only 37 Democrats were there to vote no. 16 didn't vote. They didn't even vote present. They didn't show up. Fetterman voted with the Republicans, of course. So you had 46 Republicans and Fetterman. That makes 47. It is the 5th time since February 12th that the Republican majority in the Senate has attempted to get this thing passed. It already passed in the House. It already passed in the Republican-controlled House. All the Republicans voted for it. Now they're meeting with Tom Homan because their issue is, of course, ICE. ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, to ensure that bombs don't get in the country, terrorists don't get in the country, chemicals, biologicals get into the country. But, man, you want to give illegal aliens rights and amnesty and food stamps and Medicaid. They all vote for it on the Democrat side. But when it comes to American citizens, and let me tell you, it doesn't matter your race, they hate you. They use you. And this is a perfect example right now. It's stunning. You've got people working at the airport for nothing. Do you understand what kind of patriots these people are? They're patriots. They could be trying to find another job. Some of them have left. They have to. They have to put food on the table. Do you understand the Democrats don't care if you stay in a line for 4 hours or 5 hours? They think they and their media will be able to project it onto the Republicans. But the Republicans keep voting aye. Fund it. 5 times. The House passed it, goes to the Senate, and the Democrats won't vote for it. They won't vote for it. Schumer. The reason is they're putting illegal aliens ahead of American citizens. Let's be very clear about this. This is about ICE. This is about them wanting to destroy ICE. And they are fighting like hell for those 20 million illegal aliens they brought into this country. Because they think they're more important than American citizens. They just figure their voters will vote for them regardless. Regardless, they'll vote for them. If they're in TSA, they voted Democrat, they'll keep voting Democrat. They'll blame the Republicans, they'll keep voting. How do you blame the Republicans when they're all voting yes? Every single Republican who voted in the House and the Senate voted yes. Every single one. Almost every single Democrat voted no, except for Fetterman. That's the bottom line. They can try and confuse it all they want. They're creating chaos with the TSA. And then Schumer says this. Listen to this. He's blocking the whole thing. The chaos at TSA is reaching a boiling point. We need to reopen it as quickly as possible. He's the guy that shut it. That's how sick these bastards are. Schumer has defunded the TSA and the Coast Guard and FEMA and the Secret Service. They've defunded the TSA. He knows you're waiting in ridiculous lines. He knows that the airlines are about to shut down. He knows this hurts the economy. And they want to blame the Republicans. You got it? It's all about power and politics. That's all it is. Power and politics. Their power and their politics. I don't want to hear anymore that the Democrats stand for the little guy. These TSA agents, they don't make a lot of money. And it's an important job that they're doing. They're trying to make sure our damn planes don't blow up. But that doesn't convince the Democrats. That doesn't convince the Democrats. The planes blow up, it'll be the Republicans' fault. We got the media behind us, that's what we'll do. Isn't it sick? Isn't it sinister? There's literally no excuse for this. So the Republicans proposed today, how about we just fund it all for 2 weeks while we're trying to figure this out? This Slotkin, or whatever the hell her name is, from Michigan, who's a complete clown, a complete fraudster, says, no, I got a bill just to fund TSA. And so the Republicans say, well, what about the Coast Guard and FEMA and the Secret Service? No, just TSA. So why won't she vote for the others? Because she splits the baby in half, and she thinks that's going to work. I just hope all of you who have an understanding of this, whether you work for the TSA, you have family members that work for the TSA or the Coast Guard or these other departments, or you're stuck in line forever, or your flights are canceled, I hope you understand it's Chuck Schumer. I'll be back. It's time for a little spring cleaning, and I know where to start. Go drag your old, dated wireless contract out of the closet and beat it with a broom. Then freshen things up by switching to Pure Talk, my wireless company that gives you unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data, just $25 a month, with no contract, no cancellation fees, and no overseas customer service if you ever need help. I'm guessing you're going to like them as much as my listener Paul from Greer, South Carolina. He says, I finally listened to Mark Levin's advice and switched from Verizon. I'm getting the very same service for less than half of what I was paying Verizon. You know, I long wondered if these much lower services could provide the same level of service as the big boys. Now I know that Pure Talk certainly can. Thank you, Paul. Now it's time for you folks to make the switch, too. Go to puretalk.com/Levin, puretalk.com/Levin, and you'll save 50% off your first month. That's puretalk.com/Levin, and switch to a wireless company that shares your values. Pure Talk, America's wireless company.
You're listening to Denali, the Great One.
The Great One.
And you can call in now, 877-381-3811.
It's Friday. We keep the foot on the gas pedal, baby. Don't forget, this week and tomorrow night, Life, Liberty, and Levin, 8 p.m. Eastern. I know you're going to love it. Ben Dominique and others. We have a Lieutenant Colonel Sauer, retired, who's fantastic. Sunday. Just a fantastic show. Mark Dubowitz and Maria Bartiromo, Mr. Producer. Maria Bartiromo, so don't miss it. She's a superstar. She's a superstar. There's no question about it. I'm a great fan of hers. She says she's a great fan of mine, and I know, because she's very, very friendly to me. And but I learn a lot from her. My family loves her, too. President of the United States, getting on a helicopter, being Friday evening. Cut one, go.
I want to begin by just saying we're doing extremely well in Iran.
Pardon me, let's start this out. This is actually before he goes to the helicopter earlier today, this morning. Cut one, go.
I want to begin by just saying we're doing extremely well in Iran. The difference between them and us is they had a Navy 2 weeks ago. They have no Navy anymore. It's all at the bottom of the sea. 58 ships knocked down in 2 days. And we have the greatest Navy anywhere in the world. It's not even close. But we are doing really well. We're not going to let them have nuclear weapons, because if they had them, they'd use them, and we're not going to let that happen. Should have been done a long time ago by other presidents.
Man, I'm just telling you, you're going to love this weekend shows on Fox. Set your DVR. I hope you'll do that. Cut two, go.
I rebuilt the military and built it, frankly, including Space Force. But I rebuilt the military in my first term. I didn't think I'd be using it this much, but I'm glad I rebuilt it, because we can't let these lunatics have nuclear weapons, because they were going to use them. They'd use them fast. One of the ways you know that is when this whole thing started, they started shooting missiles all over the Middle East at countries that were basically not involved, because they wanted to take over the Middle East. And if they had a nuclear weapon, they would have used it. The only question would have been the first hour or the first day. That's the only question. They would have used it. And if they can use a nuclear weapon, the world would have been in big trouble. We had to stop. It should have been done long ago.
Mm-hmm. And of course he's right. Cut three, go.
Their Navy's gone. Their Air Force is gone. Their anti-aircraft is all gone. It's all gone. Their radar is all gone. Their leaders are all gone. The next set of leaders are all gone. And the next set of leaders are mostly gone. And now nobody wants to be a leader over there anymore. We're having a hard time. We want to talk to them, and there's nobody to talk to. We have nobody to talk to. And you know what? We like it that way.
He's so good. Now the next one's a helicopter a few hours ago. Cut four, go.
Do you think Israel will be ready to end the war when you're ready?
I think so, yeah.
Mr. President,
the relationship's a very good one. I think so. You know, we want more or less similar things. You know what we want? We want victory. both of us, and that's what we've got.
Mm-hmm. Amen to that. Let's see. Cut 5, go.
Pope Guido is calling for a ceasefire in the Middle East and to reopen dialogue. Would you say that Pope?
Well, look, we can have dialogue, but I don't want to do a ceasefire. You know, you don't do a ceasefire when you're literally obliterating the other side. They don't have a Navy. They don't have an Air Force. They don't have any equipment. They don't have any spotters. They don't have anti-aircraft. They don't have radar. And their leaders have all been killed at every level. We're not looking to do that.
Cut 6, go.
He said the war was militarily won in Iran. What did you mean by that?
Oh, I think we've won. We've knocked out their Navy, their Air Force. We've knocked out their anti-aircraft. We've knocked out everything. We're roaming free. From a military standpoint, all they're doing is clogging up the strait. But from a military standpoint, they're finished.
And last, cut 7, go.
Polls have shown that MAGA is essentially unified behind you, as are Republicans when it comes to Iran. There's been reports that, the United States might be sending 2,500 Marines to the Middle East. Are you concerned that a move like that could potentially change the unity?
Well, I don't know. I seem to have great support because CNN came out with a poll today that I'm at 100%. And they said they've never seen a poll like that. The CNN poll said I'm at 100%, and they've never seen that before, which is an honor. I was impressed that CNN would do that. But as far as troops are concerned, I can't tell you what we're doing.
And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? Not one of the woke right neo-fascist podcasters has even reported that. That bang is at 100%. Because it would prove that their audience is in Russia, is in Iran, is in Turkey, is in Gaza. It's not in Kansas. No, not in Pennsylvania. Not in Wyoming and Texas and Florida. No. There's a few miscreants, don't get me wrong. A few. No question. Democrats attacking. Why do they keep quoting Bernie Sanders on TV all the time? Why is that? Do you have a big following? Do you have a big following? Keeps talking about gas prices. Would this be the same guy who opposes drilling and refining? Worried about gas prices? He should be worried about gas. He's an old man and he's got a lot of hot air. That's for sure. That's for sure. We've got Democrat after Democrat saying what Democrat after Democrat always says. Nothing good. We'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
It's time for a little spring cleaning, and I know where to start. Go drag your old, dated wireless contract out of the closet and beat it with a broom. Then freshen things up by switching to Pure Talk, my wireless company that gives you unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data, just $25 a month, with no contract, no cancellation fees, and no overseas customer service if you ever need help. I'm guessing you're going to like them as much as my listener Paul from Greer, South Carolina. He says, I finally listened to Mark Levin's advice and switched from Verizon. I'm getting the very same service for less than half of what I was paying Verizon. You know, I long wondered if these much lower services could provide the same level of service as the big boys. Now I know that Pure Talk certainly can. Thank you, Paul. Now it's time for you folks to make the switch, too. Go to puretalk.com/Levin, puretalk.com/Levin, and you'll save 50% off your first month. That's puretalk.com/Levin, and switch to a wireless company that shares your values. Pure Talk, America's wireless company. All right, show's flying by. Fly, fly. Do I owe you anything, Mr. Producer? You mean I'm ahead of the game? Well, that's unusual, isn't it? These Sunday shows are going to be insufferable, ladies and gentlemen, on these networks. Absolutely insufferable. My advice is ignore them. You want to get a real shot of patriotism? You can watch my show, Life, Liberty, and Levin, 8 p.m. tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Sunday night as well. What's this cut 12 here? Robert De Niro. What does that mean? What is that? No Kings? Robert De Niro? I'm curious to know what this is about. Is he still alive? I guess he is, right? Okay, just wondering. Cut 12, go.
It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat, a Republican, or an independent. No one.
Such an a-hole.
No one
Such
voted
an a-hole.
wars. No one voted for higher prices at the pump. No one voted for higher prices in grocery
Nobody
store.
voted for you, tough guy. Nobody voted for your BS. You lost the last election. You lost the other elections. Nobody voted for higher prices at the pump. Have you seen your buddy Newsom in California? The price of gasoline at the pump? It's higher than ever. It was higher than ever before Iran. How about your buddy Biden? The average price in 2020? Why do they all talk like they're mobsters and they're not? These are drama students, Mr. Producer. Drama students. They all want you to think they're so tough. They played like boxers, you know. Boxers on TV. Tough. But he did one movie that scared the hell out of me. What was that movie called? I don't remember. Go ahead.
No one voted for higher prices in the housing market. No one voted for deporting our good neighbors. And no one voted for government masked thugs shooting down our citizens in the streets.
Government masked thugs shooting down our citizens in the streets. You know what? You're an a-hole, pal. You're disgusting. You're just disgusting. In fact, the vast majority of actors and actresses are disgusting. Let's see here. Let me just do this. Hold on. Oh, yeah. I want to say a word before the end of this hour about Chuck Norris. I never met Chuck Norris, but I used to always watch him on TV. Always watched him. Walker, Texas Ranger. A very honorable man. Really great at what he did. Liked by everybody. He was a faithful Christian. He lived a good life in terms of the food he ate and the exercising and the vitamins and all the rest of it. And was a Republican. He was a conservative, Trump supporter, but just a good guy. Some people are going to be missed. He's going to be missed. I do wonder what happened, because 9 days ago on his birthday, when he turned 86, and it's on the internet, he put out a video. And he looked good, and he was doing some of those kind of martial arts things to show you he was in good shape, good state of mind. He looked pretty good, didn't he, Mr. Producer? 86. And then something happened suddenly, they said. Maybe it was a stroke, a heart. I don't know. But it is very unfortunate, because he was one of the good guys. You can just tell he was one of the good guys. So may God rest his soul and rest in peace. Yep. It's too bad. There's another good guy, Douglas Murray. Douglas Murray is a fantastic writer of books and articles, and so we have a lot of them. Eli Lake is great. Gabe Kaminsky's great. I started. We've got a lot of them who are really good. A lot more than I mentioned. We've got some very good websites out there. We have excellent podcasts. You know, I'm so glad Dan Bongino's back. I really am. Is he not a great patriot or what? And I see how they attack him online. It's the same reprobates, the same lowlives, the same do-nothings who sit on their ass in their basement who don't shower for 7 or 8 days, sitting there in their underwear, eating milk duds. They smell like crap. They look like crap. They look like some of these neo-fascist podcasters, quite frankly. They contribute nothing to our country, and they attack a guy like him. Was a cop, was Secret Service, Deputy Director of the FBI. That is a big damn deal, and he did a great job. Great job. And he's a fantastic podcaster and a wonderful friend. And he's out there taking on these buffoons. He's like the Clint Eastwood of the podcast world. I'm very proud of him. I knew when I first heard him, this guy's good. He's good, and he is good. He's better than good. Keep at it, baby. These people can't get any of us down. They don't understand whether it's me or Ben or Dan or Josh or another Ben. A whole line of us. We're not going anywhere, baby. Nowhere. We're engaging. We know what these people are. The lowest of the low lives. We have a great hour left, and I mean great. The power hour. Our third hour. I'll be right back.
He's here. Now, broadcasting from the underground command post, deep in the bowels of a hidden bunker, somewhere under the brick and steel of a nondescript building, we've once again made contact with our leader, Mark Levin.
Hello, America. Mark Levin here. Our number, 877-381-3811, 877-381-3811. We'll take calls at the bottom of the hour on this beautiful Friday evening. It is a beautiful Friday evening, isn't it, Mr. Producer? Yes, it is. I don't want to ruin it with Bernie Sanders. Now, the Save America Act, it's very simple. If you support honest elections, you support the Save America Act. If you don't, you don't. Now, we're talking about only Americans voting. They want you to believe it discriminates against black people. Well, how is that? Tell me how. Married women? Now, how is that? It discriminates against illegal voting. Illegal aliens, people voting twice, people voting where they're not supposed to vote, voting for dead people, and all that stuff. Now, I've heard it said that they need to loosen up on the mail-in voting. After all, some people live in rural areas, and I thought to myself, I bet people in rural areas don't like being talked to this way. Let me tell you why. 30 years ago, give or take, you had mail-in voting, but the vast majority of states did not use it as a substitute for in-person voting, even in rural areas. You know what they did in rural areas? They had voting precincts in rural areas, and so they'd have to do it again. And that's okay. If you wanted to have an absentee ballot, you literally had to be absent. Now, I've lived in 3 different states. I started in Pennsylvania. In Pennsylvania, in order to get an absentee ballot, and in Virginia, in order to get an absentee ballot over the years, except for more recently, the last 20 years or so, you had to sign under penalty of perjury that you were out of town, either for pleasure or on business, that you were ill or disabled. And that was usually about it. Otherwise, you had to show up and vote. But it's so inconvenient. I heard this today. I heard all this rural stuff today. How did people vote 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago? Let me ask you a question. If you live so far out in the middle of nowhere, how do you mail in your ballot? Mr. Producer. But where do you mail it? No, I know a mailbox. But the point is, it's out in the middle of nowhere, right? So, the post office is somewhere. Churches are somewhere. General stores are somewhere. Any of those can be voting places. Any of them. Any of them. Pretty much anywhere. So this is nonsense. We hear this from people mostly who live in the city and the suburbs. But what about the far out areas? What about them? The problem is where you have a concentration of voters, dense populations. That's where the cheating occurs. It doesn't occur in the rural areas. There's not enough vote in the rural areas. The concentration of fraud is with big city machines that also stretch into suburbs. That's where it takes place. But let's get to the heart of it. An identification with a photo on it? How many of you right now have an identification with a photo on it? Better yet, how many of you don't? Well, if you don't, you can't get Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps. You can't get tobacco products. You can't get spirits. You can't get beer. You can't get into a federal government building. You can't get into a state government building. You can't get on a plane. You can't get on a train. You can't rent a car. You can't buy a car. You can't get a job. You can't rent a room. You can't buy a house. You can't get to into a hotel. Who are these people that don't have photo IDs? Where are they? Now, the thing about this act also, they say if you can't afford it, you need assistance and on and on and on. They're going to help you get a photo ID in the legislative proposal. And they dare to say that this is racially discriminatory and it is discriminatory against married women. And they keep pushing this propaganda out there and pushing this propaganda out there. There's simply no justification for this. None. If you drive a vehicle, you need a photo ID. If you want a government job, you need a photo ID. In fact, if you want any job, you need a photo ID. If you want to get married, you need to get a photo ID. And typically that's when people change their names if they're going to change their names. And if you choose not to change your name, you still have a photo ID in your original name. If you get married and don't change it. If you get married and do change it, you have a new photo ID. All these excuses that are so ridiculous, like Americans are incapable of getting a photo ID. Like we're all, I don't, think about this. Just think about this. That we're incapable as Americans of getting a photo ID. Now, first of all, for the Democrats, they're shoving photo IDs down your throat for everything. They want more than photo IDs. They want to know where you drive. They want to have those little things in your car to keep track of you. They want to know how much electricity you're using, how much gasoline you're using. They want to know how much water you're using, how much water's in your toilet, how much water's in your shower, your bathtub. They're tracking you all the time. They want to know the racial makeup of your office, the sexual makeup, who's transitioning, who's the... Have you gotten one of these damn, from the Commerce Department, census forms? You got to fill it out. It's like doing an SAT or a tax return. And by the way, if you fill it out, they don't stop sending them to you every damn couple of years. How about a tax return for those of us who pay taxes? Is that simple? So if the issue, listen, if the test is it's too hard to get a photo ID and it's discriminatory, then it's too hard to file your federal income taxes. It just is. It's too hard to fill out any government form. It's much easier to get a photo ID. And yet the government requires it. They're not running around saying it's racist and it discriminates against married women. You want to get on a plane? Go to TSA. I don't have a photo ID. Why not? I'm a married woman. Okay, congratulations. I need a photo ID. As a matter of fact, I need a special photo ID. The new photo IDs. I don't have it. Well, you can't get on the plane. What do you mean I can't get on the... Got to have a photo ID. But Chuck Schumer said it's discriminatory. It's racist. But Chuck Schumer's not here. And everybody knows he's a doofus. Or go to a 7-Eleven. You know, I want to get a pack of cigarettes and some beer. By the way, I don't do either, but that's okay. I want to get a pack of cigarettes. Okay, I'm required to, to card you. Can I see your card? No, I don't have a card. What do you mean? Chuck Schumer said it's racist and it discriminates against married women and it's too difficult to get it. Now get out of here, kid. Okay. I want to open a bank account. You got to have a photo ID. Go into a bank, say, okay, who are you? I don't have to tell you. Excuse me? I don't have to tell you. Can I have a photo ID, please? No. Chuck Schumer said it's racist and it discriminates against married women. And by the way, he said it's too difficult to get one. Really? Yes. Well, try the bank down the street. This bank requires a photo ID. Have you tried to get into the Capitol building lately? They got steel barriers. They got metal detectors, all kinds of stuff. The buzzers are going off. You can't park over here. But you're walking around. The cop says, "Can I see you?" Say, "Yes, sir." "Can I see your photo ID?" "No." "Excuse me?" Chuck Schumer said it's racist and it discriminates against women. I refuse to show you my ID. Okay, can you turn around, sir? Put your hands behind your back. You're driving a little fast. Police officer pulls you. Can I see your license, your photo ID? No. I don't have one. What do you mean you don't have one? You're driving without a license? Chuck Schumer said it's too hard to get one. It's racist and it discriminates against women. Okay, come with me. Ding, ding, ding. What? I'm checking into the hotel. Nice to see you, Mr. Smith. You have a credit card? I sure do. I need a photo ID. No, you don't. What do you mean, no, I don't? We always take a photo ID. No, you don't. Chuck Schumer said, I don't have to have a photo ID. You don't have to have a photo ID? Nope. Too hard to get. It's racist and it discriminates against married women. But you're not a married woman. You're a white guy. I don't care. That's what Schumer said. That's the way it is. Security. Could you come over here? That's a beautiful car over there, sir. Yes, and it can be yours. We're having a sale today. Really? That's pretty good. Yes. Can I see your ID? No. What do you mean, no? Chuck Schumer said it's racist and it discriminates against women. Really? Yeah. My boss said, get the hell out of the showroom. This is so stupid. And we have to play along with this a-hole in the Democrat Party because they're corrupt. They're like the mob. Excuse me. They're not even like the mob. They're worse than the mob. At least the mob gives you protection or something. These guys give you nothing. Nothing. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
Jim Crow. The Democrats like to talk about Jim Crow because they're experts on it. They created it. It's a system of laws to enforce racial segregation against blacks. First against black slaves. It was named after a minstrel show, character created in the 1820s, who performed blackface. And then you had the 1896 Plessy versus Ferguson decision, a disgrace, separate but equal is equal. So it gave constitutional cover to segregation. This was after several decades after the Civil War. And the Jim Crow era really came to a head in the 40s and 50s and early 60s, particularly in the South, but not exclusively, to prevent blacks from voting. Various obstructions were created. And so Chuck Schumer takes this period that's a very serious period in our history. We went through hell to resolve this, a civil war, civil rights protests, a lot of deaths. And just like they used the Holocaust and the Nazis for political purposes, they use this too. So now, in order to get a photo to vote, it's like Jim Crow 2, they say. That same photo ID that you use for everything else to get into the Democrat National Committee, to get into their conventions, to get into their offices in the Capitol building, all of a sudden, it's Jim Crow. It's so disgraceful.
Mark Levin doesn't just read the news, he makes the news. Call the Mark Levin Show now at 877-381-3811.
You know, when I was starting out in this business, actually with Mr. Producer, we had a hard and fast rule. We don't do what? Platform Nazis. Right, Mr. Producer? Is that a tough one? We don't platform Klansmen. We don't platform racists. So, you know, when Tucker Carlson said, hey, can we have a debate at TPUSA? Can we do that, please? Please, Mark. A debate with a guy that fits all those categories? What am I going to do? Debate my faith with a piece of you-know-what? And I told him flat out, you attack my faith, you attack my stepson, there's not going to be any civil debate if we're on that stage together. I can tell you that. He won't debate me. Ooh. I will debate anybody except that. And I've offered Joe Kent, apparently his lapdog, or vice versa, to come on this program, on radio, just to interview him, not even a debate. And he won't do it. But he's making the rounds with the neo-fascists, the neo-Nazis, the Trump haters, the America haters, the Christian bashers, the Jew haters, who are apparently in bed now with Russia, Iran, Hamas, Turkey, which is why they keep defending them and keep attacking us and our military and our president. No amount of game playing and semantics. Well, they got my number. We reached out to you, bro. Just pretend you're leaking some classified information to a source. You know what I mean? Except it's not classified information. I'm not a source, you know. You know how to do this. Just reach out. And we'd be more than happy to talk. And don't let Deep Throat, don't let Megyn Kelly talk you out of it. She's having some problems at home. She's got something on her mind there that it's too disgusting to even mention, isn't it, Mr. Producer? But it is constantly on her mind. Dougie, that's the Dougie. Ronnie's a good watchdog. He watches me all the time. Do you know that, Mr. Producer? So is Toby. Now, Toby actually is even more of a watchdog. Toby's about 13 pounds. He's a mutt. He's a mixed breed. He's a beautiful little boy. Ronnie's about 40. He's all muscle, beautiful face. These two dogs were horribly abused when they were young. Ronnie was found on the streets of Puerto Rico, and I can tell he was very badly treated. And Toby was rescued from a puppy factory We got him when he was 5 months old, and he spent his first 4 months of life in a cage in fecal matter. And so we adore our little boys. We got them after little Barney passed away and Marty. And I don't know. I don't know what we'd do without dogs. I don't know what we would do without dogs. Our dogs are so wonderful. And then here we have certain cultures, they kill them and they eat them. Other cultures torture them and kill them. Still other cultures ban them. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Dogs are smart. This may sound controversial. It's not intended to be, but the smartest of the dogs, I think they're like as intelligent as a 3, 4, 5-year-old kid. I really do. Our dog Pepsi was half Border Collie, half Cocker Spaniel. And I'll be damned if he didn't understand everything I said to him. He would cock his head. He would look at me. And yes, dogs do smile. And dogs do get sad. Now, Ronnie here, when he wants your attention, he puts his paw out. Did I ever tell you that, Rich? He gives you his paw. And when he thinks you're upset with him, he gives you his paw. When he wants to go out, he gives you his paw. Cute as can be. Toby, 13 pounds. When you get up from a chair or a bed or a sofa, he follows you and he rubs his head against the back of your calf. I guess the calf is the back, but you know what I mean. Back of the leg. Every dog has their own personality. They have their own psychology. They have their own history. Just treat them with love, and I know you folks do. And if I'm away for a little period of time, and I try not to be, you miss them a lot. And they miss you a lot. And you've seen these videos online and so forth. When we have our brave men and women, they go overseas and they serve, or they leave the state and they don't come back for a period of time and they come home. And the dog takes a few sniffs or takes a look, and then they realize, wait, daddy's back or mommy's back. And they charge them. They're so excited. Can you imagine torturing and killing animals like this? Or keeping them in cages to eat? Can you imagine this? It's disgusting. And I'm going to tell you something else that you know to be true. Don't criticize me. There are theoreticians, philosophers who would hate what I'm going to say, but I don't much care. I think in many cases dogs are better than human beings. Human beings can be very evil. Not all, obviously. I'm saying human beings can be very evil. Can be very hateful. Like I know my dogs, they don't care if you're Christian or Jewish or what you are. They don't care if you're black or white or red or yellow. What? They don't care. They don't care if you're a male or a female. But I must confess, they do care if you're a liberal Democrat. I've trained them. They don't like liberal Democrats. They could smell them a mile away. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.
Barbara, Orange County, Virginia, the great WMAL. How are you, Barbara?
I'm fine, sir. Thank you for taking my call. I want to also thank you for recognizing the TSA officers as patriots. I'm a retired TSA officer. I worked during the Obama years, and we had 2 shutdowns during the time that I was working. And I appreciate you looking at the officers as patriots, because it has been my experience in working with so many people that they did take their job very, very seriously. And my heart goes out to the folks that are working, TSA officers, because, sir, behind the scenes during a time like this, the officers are on their feet all day, maybe working 12 plus hours. They're doing a lot of overtime because they have fewer officers. And my message is to the flying public: have a little patience with them. They're really very tired and they're being overworked, but they are patriots and take their jobs seriously for the security of our country. And all an TSA officer, sir, all they ever want from the public truly is to have a little patience and just sometimes say thank you for what you do, because that is their livelihood. That's the job they've chosen to do. And they take a lot of abuse from the public. But when someone comes around and says, thank you, officer, for what you're doing, that makes their day. Just a simple few words.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And yeah, I want to thank you for your service, too. I know it's a tough job. I know it is. All right, you take care, Barbara. Thank you. Joe, Frederick, Maryland, the great WMAL. We only have 1 minute.
Thanks for taking my call, Mark. Has anyone sat down and calculated how much this is going to cost the airline industry?
A ton.
And a lot of the TSOs are not going to come back. They've quit, and they're looking for other jobs that pay salaries.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is going to do tremendous damage to the whole air traffic industry and to the security. You're going to lose a lot of veterans, too. Veteran TSA agents and officers. It's really horrible what the Democrats are doing. Do you think the rank and file know that it's the Democrats who are defunding them? The Republicans keep trying to get it passed?
Yes, I think everybody, it's quite well knowledge up and down the food chain.
All right, Joe, I know you're retired TSA. Excuse me. Take care of yourself, and thank you, brother. We go to America every Friday in honor of you. Here we go. gentlemen, the week is officially over. The weekend begins now. Let's have fun. Join me Saturday night on Fox at 8 p.m. Eastern. I'd love to have you. And Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. If you're not sure you can, just set your DVR. Don't forget. I know you're going to love it. I know you will. I'm so honored you're here. I'm so blessed. God bless you. We salute our armed forces, police officers, firefighters, emergency personnel, our truckers, the men and women in Ukraine. We haven't forgotten you, and they're giving defensive equipment now to countries throughout the Middle East against the Iranians. The men and women in Iran, the men and women in Israel, and you, the American people, of course. Good night, Spritey and Griffey and Pepsi and Smokey. Good night, Zelda and Gigi and Indy and Patton and Rory. Good night, Marty and Barney. Good night, Dad and Mom. We're holding down the fort. We're holding down the fort. Good night, Leo and Joe and Bernie and Teddy and Lou and all of you wonderful people. God bless you. Be safe. I'll see you tomorrow night. Take care.